This illustration deals with dimmer and electronic control switches in accordance with NEC 404.14E as in ed. The purpose of change was to accept a revision. And of course, this revision has been made to clarify that switches shall be listed and used within their ratings. Alternating current general use snap switches are generally only available in this form, and they possess internal construction characteristics that inspection authorities cannot generally evaluate. In addition to the presently recognized use for dimmers, other control devices are now common and is yet not recognized in this subsection. These switches are being developed which will enable wireless controls, and they do not conform to the generic load ratings such as restrictive, inductive, resistive, tungsten type switches is covered in A and B. This means that their ratings must be fully marked on them so that they can be properly applied and installed. Now, kind of reviewing this, if you had a switch at the top left of the illustration, it says automatic control electronic type control switches, and that's 404.14E. And then you have R dimmer, 404.14E. If we go over, we can also control cord and plug connect loads with a automatic control where it mates up and meets the requirements of listed and so forth, as we know is required. Now, if we look at the notes, note 1, for more information on electronic switches, see 404.22. That would line up with 404.2C, that we could review more about these electronic control type. And sometimes like in a filling station, you go in to use the restroom and the light comes on. And as long as you're in there with motion, it stays on. And then when you leave, it times out, turns the lights off, and that prevents a light from burning for long periods of time where the user of the restroom forgets to turn it off, see? So we see then the branch circuit rating right at the bottom of the illustration, and 210.20A deals with the protective device on the branch circuit. We have continuous rated loads here. Our conductors then are sized from 210.19A1 little a, that's listed, pointing arrow to those conductors. And we have a luminaire that's electrical discharge type. We have a luminaire that's resistive type there. And of course, then I would like to remind you, if you're dealing with an electronic type switch, be sure that you review 404.2C and also 404.9 in the 2020 NEC. But however, if you're controlling and switching motors, see 430.83 control. 430.109 horsepower rating. You're disconnecting, controlling horsepower rated motors. 430.110, now you're dealing with breaking the load amps of a motor. And if you deal with signs, be sure you look at 600.6 for signs where these type of switches are involved. And I think that concludes what this revision is trying to point out to the user of the code.